guys, lucky-star-shi-roku here, and welcome to another update vlog. This one is going to be continuing on from the last one. If you remember, in the last vlog, I said that I was going to be doing Duke of Edinburgh stuff, DOV. If you missed the last update vlog, then go back and watch it. It's literally in the same playlist. Just literally go to my update vlog playlist and then go to the latest one, the one before this one. That'll basically have all the stuff that you'll need to know. But basically, continuing on from there, I have done the Duke of Edinburgh now. I've done all the DOV stuff. The expedition is now over. I've literally just got back. This is my first day being back after the expedition. So from my point of view, from my point of view, this will be... My point of view, basically all that stuff would have happened yesterday. Basically, for anyone who missed it, basically I was going on an expedition for 2 days, so we'll be walking 2 days and camping one night. Slightly different conditions happened with me and another friend, but I'll get to that very, very briefly. Now, before I start this, this video is just me explaining everything that happened and my personal experience and stuff. And keep in mind that this is all my personal experience. This is all personal to me. So if I say anything negative here, just keep in mind that it's all my personal opinion. This is basically how I felt about it personally. So if anyone enjoys DOV, then more power to you. And don't feel like I'm attacking you just for saying any negative stuff, because I didn't exactly have the nicest experience. I just want to put that out there. So if anyone enjoys Duke of Edinburgh, anyone enjoys walks or camping, whatever, don't feel attacked or offended, because this is just my own personal experience. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, good for you, more power to you. You enjoy it, but it's just not for me, really. Okay, so basically, first there's the preparation. Basically, the teachers pretty much just got the entire group together. Pre-support in turn 1 and pre-support in turn 2. I'm a part of PSI 1. Now there's a slight difference. I believe PSI 2 had a little bit longer to go. I believe PSI 2 had an extra camping trip. We only had 2 days of walk and 1 camping night, where I think they had 4 days of walking and 2 camping trips. I don't exactly know. But basically, the teachers literally got us all together, made sure we had everything we needed, make sure we had all our rucksacks, all had our tents, our tents, lights, all the gear we needed, sleeping bags, rucksack, everything we needed, made sure we had torches and stuff. And then they split us off into various groups. We were all split into different numbers. There was me, and then I believe I was split into a group of... I've forgotten how many it was now, but there's split off into a few of us, and then we basically split in tents. They basically split into a group for the hike. They split us into a group of a few people. I can't quite remember how many. Hang on. I can't remember now, but there's a few of us. And then they also split us into 2 for the tents, because it's a very, very small tent. Which I'll get into that in a bit. But basically, yeah, we got into all the preparations and made sure we had everything. Then pretty much we had a bit of an hour's drive to where we would get dropped off to begin the hike. And then the first group was sent out, and then we had to wait a little bit before we went out, because they wanted to make sure that we weren't meeting up with the groups, because then the group would be too big, and then it'd cause all kind of complications, really. So basically all that happened to make sure we didn't bump into the other groups, or at least not hang around for too long. We could take breaks, but we had to get going before the other groups got up with us, really. And that actually happened a couple times. We did actually catch up with a couple of groups. Now keep in mind that, well, let me quickly say, I'm not a hiker. I'm not used to this kind of physical activity. I do like walking, but you know, not around mountains or whatever. You know, I like going for a casual stroll around the town or whatever, but I don't like walking on mountains and uneven terrain and stuff. Plus, not to mention, I'm injured from my last walk as well, which also came into play of why I didn't enjoy it as much. So now going into the walk, again, as I mentioned, we were split into various groups. Oh, yeah, by the way, you might notice I've caught the sun a little bit. Basically, during a few of my rests, I may have fell asleep a couple times, and then the face just burnt my face. I mean, my face looks alright. Got my nose looks a bit bad though. I was originally having a plaster, but then someone said that I look better without the plaster. Personally, I don't agree with that. I think it looks a bit better with the plaster, but oh well. If it heals quicker, I suppose. Where was I? I keep getting sidetracked. Yeah, but the walk. Basically, we kept like we were traversing through all kinds of different terrain, from mountains to uneven ground, and we even had to swim through a couple swamps. Now, overall, I didn't enjoy this expedition at all. Let me quickly say that. Now, again, keep in mind that this is all my personal opinion. Don't feel that I'm attacking anyone or offending anyone, because I'm not, and if I do offend anyone, I'm sorry. It's not my intention. I just want to be as open about my experience as I can, to share my experience with you. You know, because that's part of the channel, isn't it? You know, we share our experiences. It's how we grow as a family, as a community. You know, that's how channels grow between the community and the community leader. But yeah, I'm not the physical type at all, and me and a other guy in the group, we're not physical people really. Rest of the guys, basically, they were used to this kind of stuff. They've been doing, you know, boxing or whatever, you know, since the beginning of time almost for them, really. So basically, we were not used to this kind of stuff, and the other guys in our group would honestly, again, I'll talk more about that when we get to teamwork. But yeah, we're going through all kind of different terrains, and again, I didn't enjoy any of this. Through mountains, to gravel, to in fact, a couple of times we even had to swim through a swamp. Yeah, we had to swim through a swamp, which wasn't very nice. In fact, I've had a couple showers since then, and I still don't feel completely clean. Honestly, once you've swum in a swamp, you'll never feel properly clean for quite a while. Like, you know, I hate that icky feeling. I don't like being. I like being clean. I don't like feeling dirty or anything. You know, I don't like that feeling. It's horrible. I mean, some people may argue that you can be too clean, but you know, it's just a nice feeling, isn't it? I don't like being covered in dirt or muck or sweat or whatever. It's just a horrible, horrible feeling. Again, some people might call me feminine for that, but what can you do? But anyway, the point is, I was injured from that because on the previous walk I did. I was gonna vlog the whole trip, but I thought, nah, I best save my phone for when I need it. You know, I best save it. You know, not use it unless it's necessary. But yeah, I was injured. I was injured from the last walk. I don't want to gross you out with the details, but yeah, basically, my toe hurt a lot, and that was causing me quite a bit of grief throughout the whole trip. And basically, the last walk I did happened about, I think it, from my point of view, now I believe it was 4 weeks ago. So yeah, that was causing me a bit of discomfort and pain, and I was having to limp the whole way, which isn't good considering, well, you know, you need to stand on both feet properly, otherwise there's a chance of, you know, cracking your ankle or something, which was a real risk for me because I had to limp, because, you know, my foot, basically it hurt to put weight on, it hurt to even move, or, you know, it just hurt randomly. It was awful. And And obviously, swimming in that swamp, or those swamps, because there's a few of them, basically, I was a little worried. Because after swimming in the swamp, I was a little worried that my already injured foot might have got, infected. So I'm a little worried. So I'm thinking... So basically, we did the walk. And let me tell you, oh my god, it was hell. It was absolute hell. We walked about, I've forgotten how many miles we walked now. It was absolutely terrible. For me at least. Again, I know some people enjoy this kind of thing, but I didn't. The rucksacks were super heavy. I've never been the physical type. I can't lift that much for a prolonged period of time. My shoulders hurt, my back hurts. My legs hurt, my foot hurts. Literally, my entire body, at that point, felt like it was self-destructing. Basically, my entire body felt like a ticking time bomb in that moment. And honestly, then there's the times that we got lost. We got completely lost. And again, this is, okay, probably a good time for me to talk about teamwork now. Now, this whole expedition, basically, the staff just left us and just kept meeting us at particular checkpoints where they can check up on us to make sure that we're not lost or whatever. They were checking up on us, and one of the rules of this trip, this entire expedition, was basically to help each other out, to work as a team, even help out other groups, to help people in our groups, and to occasionally, if they need it, help out other groups. Only if they need it though, because obviously we're not meant to interact with the other groups during this, but only to help them out if they need it. And the other guys we were paired with, me and another person who I will not mention for reasons. If he gave me permission to use his name, then I'd say my name, but for various reasons I'm not going to say it. But basically, me and him, we were paired with a bunch of other people who, now honestly, I really don't want to say anything bad. I really, really hate being negative, and I really, really don't like this kind of language or whatever, but honestly, the guys we were paired with, they were complete holes. Like, they were complete. They were just awful. The number one rule, one of the rules was to stay with your group, help them out, help them, and if they're not feeling, another rule is to go as fast as the slowest person. And we had quite a few of those in our group, and basically, when we were we reached a breaking point, they didn't encourage us, they didn't wait for us, they didn't wait for us to recover, they didn't wait for us to catch our breath or let us rest for a little while. They just kept pushing us on, even though we felt like we were going to explode at that point. Honestly, it was horrible. So basically, the rules that the teachers had in place, they didn't follow by. They essentially just often left us. What terrible teamworkship, it's like they don't care about us. They thought of us as liabilities. Keep in mind that everyone has different physical limitations, we all have different limits and such. So, we all, some people are more used to this kind of thing, and some have not done this kind of thing at all. So, obviously, me and two other people, we reached our limits a lot quicker. We weren't used to this kind of thing, and honestly, the despair I was feeling. We got a point where we were only, I think, 3 miles away from the campsite, and basically, the rest of the guys we're with, just left us. They abandoned us. Which is what you don't do to a team. You don't abandon your team. You stick with them. You wait for them. You wait for them to recover. So then, basically, when the rest of the group decided to often leave us, they basically went off and left us there. Now, one of the guys we were looking after in our team, basically, he asked us to not leave him, which obviously is, you know, good sportsmanship. We stuck by him. We waited by him. You know, we stayed with him, even though it cost us to lose our way. You know, personal risk to us, but it was the good thing to do. It was the right thing to do. You know, I honestly feel like I did the right thing. I really, really do. And the other guy also feels the same way. Like, we feel the same way. We feel like we did the right thing. We felt like the right people, and the other guys are just complete selfish holes, really. And ultimately, morally, I think we did the best thing. You know, we waited for him to recover, and, you know, we stayed by him when he, you know, called people, you know, called his parents, let him know that he's not doing too well or whatever. You know, called people to pick him up or whatever, you know, because he was not doing well. He was not doing well at all, and he was saying some very, very depressing stuff that I really didn't want to hear, but at the same time, I could tell he was suffering, and honestly, it brought a tear to my eye when I heard him saying that kind of stuff. And I won't repeat here because I want to keep this. And obviously, I've already said a bunch of negatives already, which I didn't want to, but I felt I had to bring it up. And I want to keep. I'm not going to repeat what he said because I want to keep this a positive community. I don't want to say. I want to say as few negative things as necessary, really. But the things he was saying, honestly, it brought tears to my eyes. Like, you know, I wanted to comfort him. I wanted to assure him it was okay, but at the same time, seeing what state he was in, you know, what mental state he was in, it was painful. So then we just waited by him, and thankfully there was someone in the area nearby, a local of the area who knew the area, who basically a kind person helped out, like took him to the station, then waited for his parents to pick him up and such. So that was nice of them, you know. It just goes to show that there are some nice people out there. Now, obviously, we all know that don't talk to strangers kind of thing, but we analysed him and everything, and he seemed like a good person. He seemed like someone who was trustworthy. He didn't, you know, he said he wanted to help, and, you know, obviously, you know, we're very cautious at first, but it seemed like he was actually genuine, and he did help out a fair bit. So basically, he took the other guy to the station where he got picked up and such, and then basically me and the other guy who was with us, we completely lost our way, had very, very little map reading skills. Thankfully, he was a bit more educated on the map than me, because I have horrible map skills. So thankfully, he had a better idea of where we were going, and we kept trekking on a bit for 2 or 3 miles. I'm not exactly sure, and honestly, I was beginning to wonder if we were ever going to find our way, because we were walking for miles. I was physically worn out. He was physically worn out. Plus, previously, he'd tripped and fell, and he fell somewhere along the ways and kind of hurt his leg. Like, I think he like went down on his knee, and he said that his like thigh kind of area he'd hurt quite badly. Like, basically, every time he tried to walk, it hurt. Every time he tried to just relocate his leg, it was painful. So keep in mind that now the only 2 members that were still going were both physically worn out and in a lot of pain. Me with my foot and him with his leg. So basically, we were just walking the miles, just trying to find where we were, and like we're just going along the main road trying to find where we were, and we actually went past where we were meant to. We just didn't see it. Basically, we were going along the ways, and then we heard the rest of the guys that decided to often leave us. We found them along with some of the teachers who yeah, we found them and we went back and basically we just went there and waited for a while. And oh god, when we got there, I absolutely collapsed. I was holding like my water bottle to keep myself hydrated. I was worn out. I was tired. I physically could not walk anymore. I immediately took off my rucksack and then collapsed to the ground. I physically could not move anymore. And then the donks who decided to abandon us, oh boy, the stuff they were saying, honestly. Again, keep in mind that we all have physical limits, and they were basically, I mean, the way they were talking, you know, as if they were disappointed in us, as if they were looking down on us for giving up so easily. Keep in mind, they were used to this kind of stuff. And they were lecturing us, saying we should be better than this. Do you see where I'm getting this? Like, do you see my point? I mean, please tell me in the comments if you guys see the issue here. That some people are weaker, you know. Plus, not to mention, I have a few problems like myself where I have a weak leg because of past traumas and stuff. Sorry for another video probably, but yeah, I mean, please tell me you guys see the issue here. So yeah, they were lecturing us, and then them and the other guy who hurt his leg. Basically, there was a massive heated argument. Like, he was saying there was a massive debate, there was a massive argument. He practically lost his shoot at that point. Like, he was arguing, he was angry, and as for me, I was exhausted. I collapsed on the ground with my rucksack, and I was still conscious, but I was too exhausted to say anything. I was too tired to get angry. As much as I wanted to join in the conversation and actually, or rather argument, as much as I wanted to join in the argument, I was physically too tired. I literally was too tired to exhibit any kind of emotion. That's how bad I was. I was physically too exhausted to say anything at all, and oh boy. Inside, when I heard them and the other guy arguing, and you know, I was on the other guy's side, by the way. I was completely on his side because I feel we did the right thing. You know, we didn't abandon some. You know, we didn't abandon someone in need. We helped them. We even let them use our shoulders, to help them a little bit the ways, because they physically could not move, and I still feel we did the right thing, you know. And while I was exhausted and I wanted to say my own thoughts, honestly, I felt myself crying on the inside, and it was horrible. It was, but yeah, basically at that point, the rest of the guys decided to carry on with the trek, whereas me and the other guy just decided to rest, and we explained to the teachers that we were worn out, that the other guy had left, he'd been picked up, he was cancelling the rest of his DOV, and honestly, we felt the same way. We basically fell into despair at that point. We didn't think we could continue. Honestly, it was the worst thing we ever felt. And basically, we told them we couldn't go on, and then they arranged something where the rest of the guys could go on, and then we could get picked up by the teachers and then brought back to the campsite. And honestly, we were just still resting there. And I also told, because my injury, prior to that, I hadn't told anyone about it. Because I did heard it like 4 weeks ago, but I didn't say anything at the time. Because, it's a walk, and, walks like that on uneven terrain, you're bound to, you're bound to get into some scrapes here and there, you're bound to get a little bit hurt. So we didn't think much of it. So then I told the staff, I told the teachers about what happened and my condition, and then the other guy said his condition, and basically we got them to agree to take us to the campsite, and I showed them I showed him my foot, and yeah, it didn't look good. It was painful. It hurt like hell, and it was excruciating. Like the whole walk, like the AV in general was excruciating. Honestly, I've never been in that much pain in a long time. So eventually, we waited for the teacher to take us back, and when the teacher arrived, honestly, with how much we've endured, because the whole thing was a massive endurance test at this point, and when that happened, I honestly felt like we were going to get lectured, that we were going to get looked down upon again. And then, when eventually he arrived and we said that what we'd been through and we physically couldn't go anymore, I honestly thought we were going to get lectured, we were going to get looked down upon, but no. He praised us. He said that he was impressed, he was proud of us. And honestly, that shocked me to my very core. Like the whole thing, I was speechless. I was honestly expecting him to be disappointed in us, but no. And to this day, I'm still shocked. I still can't believe it. I mean, what do I say to that? I mean, wow. So yeah, then we wait a long ways to have that all sorted, and it turns out there are actually a few other people who couldn't go on either, and they caught up with us. And then eventually, once they caught up, we went back to the camp to set up and stuff, as we waited for the other guys. And yeah, eventually we got to the camp. We were all exhausted, and well, we had a bit of fun in the camp. And let me tell you, the midges were killing us. Yeah, but we then got to the campsite, and we basically set up the tent. We just explored the campsite a bit. We put up the tent and such, which was very, very small. I'll get into the tent in a second. But we set up the tent. We did everything we need to. We set up the little portable cooking station. Basically, we just set up the tent, and then we didn't have a campfire just because we were exhausted, and we wanted to get this done as quickly as possible. So basically, we just set up the tent, and then we just basically had our evening meal, and then just pretty much called it a night. Whereas the other guys had a campfire, and well, just be them. Basically, we were doing the sensible thing. I think, considering all that, we just decided to rest. And also, we had another talk with the teachers, and they said that if we don't want to, because both me and the other guy were hurt, we were both in not very good conditions. Like, I was injured and potentially infected. Like, I was worried that swimming through the swamp might have infected my foot. So basically, there was me with my hurt and potentially infected foot, and then there was the other guy with his hurt leg. We basically told the teachers that we couldn't go on. We couldn't do the second day, which was just walking back to the college from the campsite. And then they said, it's okay. You guys have done enough. If you guys don't feel like if you guys physically you've reached your limit, you can, as long as you do the camp, you have technically passed. So basically we then just did the camp, and that was it, and we legally passed. The other guy who we tried to help out, unfortunately, because he didn't do the camp, unfortunately, it looks like he might have failed. Unfortunately, if he just done the camp, but it's happened now, which is a little unfortunate. I wish we could have helped him out a little more, but we did the best we could. So basically, then the rest of the night, we just basically we did all the camp stuff. We just had a lot of fun while while just having our evening meal, we just talked about various different things, mostly Marvel and the Avengers, and just various just random topics, and just having a nice little chat before going to bed. And oh my god, the camping, that was even worse. That was just as excruciating. Okay, let me say I'm not used to being outside the city. I'm not used to being away from civilization. Like, basically, all my life I have grew up around cities and proper man-made structures and stuff. I was not used to being out in the wilderness, walking around mountains and stuff, sleeping in tents. I was not used to that kind of thing. And honestly, the tents were super small, and I mean, I know some people enjoy it, and if you can enjoy that kind of thing, good for you, more power to you. But I didn't enjoy the tent at all. The tent, now, keep in mind, I'm not usually the claustrophobic type, but I felt really claustrophobic there. I mean, honestly, I felt super uncomfortable. The fact that the tent was closing down on my face, and it was that close. For a few moments, I had difficulty breathing. Honestly, I felt really uncomfortable and thinking, oh, please let this be over soon. And what matters worse is, like, we placed my roll mat and stuff, which I now know why it's called a roll mat, because it tries to roll you up when you're trying to sleep. But yeah, basically the campsite was, the tent was uncomfortable. I didn't get any sleep. Like, for the whole night, I was up all night. As much as I wanted to sleep, I couldn't. I physically couldn't. The ground was too uncomfortable, even with the roll mat underneath me. Yeah, plus it was a pretty enclosed space. I was uncomfortable, and then the other guy, which I know, you don't really control yourself in your sleep, which I understand. It's not his fault, but basically he was rolling around, making it very difficult to sleep, which I'm not blaming him at all. Because when you're asleep, you don't have control of your body. Your body moves on its own, and you're unconscious. So I don't blame him, but basically it was an enclosed space, and with him, tossing and turning and whatever, it just felt super uncomfortable, and it was just super uncomfortable for me. It was just impossible to sleep. As tired as I was, and as much as I wanted to sleep, I just physically couldn't. I mean, honestly, I have no idea how some people love camping. I have no idea how people can enjoy that kind of thing, because it was annoying. It was uncomfortable. It was horrible, and for me, I just didn't enjoy it at all. And if you can enjoy that thing, then more power to you. But I don't know how you can. So basically, I was up the whole night, and basically, I didn't get to sleep until daybreak. Like, basically, I didn't get to sleep until the sun was already up, and there was cockerels and roosters. There was roosters already crying for the sun by the time I got to sleep, which is when you're supposed to be waking up, actually, which was not good. So you can imagine I was physically exhausted. I was worn out. So the next day, obviously we planned to not continue the walk anyway, but both me and him, we don't think we could have continued the second day walk even if we wanted to. Honestly, it was terrible. We were exhausted. We got very little sleep, and yeah, like at max, I probably only got 1 or 2 hours sleep, which, considering the long expedition I had, wasn't good. It was very, very annoying. It was very uncomfortable and such. So yeah. But thankfully, because of the camping trip and all that, the camping trip and the walk we did, so meaning we have legally passed. We have technically passed. Unfortunately, I don't have my certificate and my badge to show you guys. Like, if I had all that to show you, I would present it on camera right now, and have it as the thumbnail. But unfortunately, as this video was recorded literally the day after. Unfortunately, I just don't have it. I just don't have it yet. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes to get awarded that kind of stuff, but unfortunately it's just too soon. But I wanted to make this video while it's fresh in my mind, while the memories are fresh, so I can, you know, talk about it in more detail and such and how things went. So unfortunately I don't have it to present, which means, unfortunately, it means I'm going to have to do something a little bit creative with the thumbnail, unfortunately. But, yeah. Thankfully we passed, and then we just jumped on the bus back to college, and oh yeah, the tent. They said it was waterproof, but I say all of that. The tent being waterproof, you know, the tent claimed to be waterproof, but honestly, I call bullshit at that. That is complete bullshit. I mean, basically, they said it was waterproof, and when I woke up, basically, the tent was wet, and I was like, oh, please don't tell me. And at first, I thought it wasn't. Like, at first, I thought it was waterproof. Until I eventually got up and saw there was water right underneath my roller mat. I thought, oh, no. Oh, no, it did get through. What is this about? This tent supposed to be waterproof? And then when we opened the first compartment, which is where we were, and like basically the compartment separating us from our stuff to stop our stuff from getting wet, guess what? It got wet anyways. So I checked all my gear, I checked my ring, I checked my coat, absolutely drenched. All the salt packets I had in my pocket, drenched, no longer usable. And yeah. Basically, thankfully my phone was alright, like our phones were alright, thankfully, but yeah, honestly, also my hoodie was wet, meaning, and I was freezing when I woke up from the rain, so I had to put on a freezing cold wet hoodie, and like it was in patches, and I thought, oh great, I have to wear this, but then I thought, you know, it's probably better than nothing. So as wet as it was and as cold as it was better than nothing. And I had to put my freezing coat. I had to put my damp wet jacket on as well, which was obviously not very nice. We had to put our tents away in the rain and such. We had to put all that away. We had to pack away, and we had very little time. Like they were rushing us. Like we had the staff banging pots together outside the tent to wake us all up, and I'm not a morning person, so it took me a while to finally wake up properly. You know, I could barely move because it takes me a while. Because when I go to sleep, I'm like a robot essentially, basically where all my senses shut down, and when I wake up, it takes me a while to wake up properly. Like I have to physically wait for my for all my nerves and senses and stuff to reactivate. Like and first things, I have to wait for my legs to wake up, then my arms, and then that's when I can move. And yeah, they were rushing us, banging pots to wake us up, and that was not going well at all. And yeah, so we had to put the tents away and all our gear away in our rain, in the rain. We were getting rushed, and we literally didn't have any time for, like, the campsite had showers, but we didn't have any time for a shower or to make ourselves presentable. We didn't have any time for a shower, didn't have any time to brush our teeth or anything like that. So basically we had to sleep in our clothes that we were wearing the previous day, meaning we wore our clothes in that first trip that we've been swimming through the swamps in. We had to sleep in them, and then we had to go back home and all on the same day. So we were wearing our same clothes all for that, and I felt pretty disgusting. I felt horrible. Since I was swimming, I've been swimming in the swamp and I was still wearing the same thing, which felt horrible. I have no idea how some people can live like that. So yeah, we got back to college eventually, and while we waited for the rest of the guys to do the rest of the walk back, and basically, we just got back to college. We had a nice hot drink. I had a nice cup of tea to probably wake me up. My friend, had just a cup of juice because unfortunately the poor guy has allergies. I mean, he can't enjoy a nice cup of tea or coffee because he's got dairy allergies. Unfortunately, poor guy. I honestly feel sorry for the poor guy. You know, I mean, you know, not being able to enjoy something as enjoyable as a cup of tea. You know, it's horrible. I really feel sorry for the poor guy. But yeah, me and him just basically had we had drinks and stuff just to. We put our feet up. I took my boot off and my sock off just so I can rest my my foot and hopefully let the air get to it and let it heal a little bit as much as possible. But yeah, it looked really bad. It looked really bad that day. I've had it seen to since then, and it's doing a little better now. I think now I've had it looked at by a doctor and such. But yeah, it was not good back then. I was seriously worried that the swamp might have infected it. But basically, the rest of the day we just kind of waited. Thankfully, we didn't have lessons to go to, and we had a bit of a celebration, like for what we did, and we're proud of ourselves. Even those who didn't continue the journey, like me and him, we were proud of ourselves, of what we did, what we achieved, despite our limitations and despite actually reaching our limits. We still did our best, and you know, we still got the bronze award, which was fantastic. And I mean, we still had to put the tents up just to let them dry, which was disgusting because they've been rained on and stuff. And yeah, but basically, that more or less takes care of all the Duke of Edinburgh stuff. I know it's a very long video, but I just wanted to go into as much detail as possible while it's still fresh in my brain. And now, I hate to make this video sound like, because I know I did try and talk about as many positives as well, you know, what we achieved and stuff, but unfortunately a lot of negative stuff happened as well, which I had to address, which I don't like addressing negative stuff on the channel, as you know, I really prefer to, you know, keep things positive, but you know, I had to talk about it at least a little bit. But regardless of all that, we achieved so much. The day was over. We could go home and just relax, where of course from this point on I think I'll probably be sleeping the next couple of weeks, to be honest, just to recover. Like honestly, my shoulders, my back are still killing me, and if you look behind me, that's the rucksack I lent from college. I don't have my own rucksack, so I had to borrow one from college. I mean, most of the stuff was mine, like the sleeping bag was mine, the roll mat was mine, which hopefully I never have to use again. That's in the cupboard back there, packed away. But hopefully I never have to use them again. I'm going to return the rucksack next time I go to college. I don't think I'm going on Monday because I'm back at work. My work experience is back on, working in the cafe. So unfortunately I won't be able to return it on Monday. But yeah, I'll return that when I can. But yeah, also some of the stuff I got didn't last long. I mean, it's still working, thankfully. Like the torch is still working. But look at this. Already broke. So I can't tie it to my a utility belt or anything like that, because I mean, just look at it. It's broken. I mean, I don't even know how to repair that or even if I could. But I mean, this is supposed to you know, help you. What if while I was wearing that and then that broke, you know, I'd lose it. The glass would break. But yeah, I mean, I suppose what I get for cheap last minute stuff, I suppose. But yeah. Anyway, that takes care of all the DV stuff. Now, again, I hate talking about negative stuff, but it just wasn't a nice experience for me. And, you know, if you guys, I mean, I guess advice, if I could give any advice, it depends on the situation. Like, basically, if you guys can enjoy something like this, if you guys can appreciate and enjoy this, you know, then by all means, enjoy it. Enjoy every last minute of it. Enjoy the nature. Enjoy the walk. Enjoy the camping experience if you can. If you can enjoy that kind of stuff, unlike me. you know, if you can enjoy that kind of stuff, then by all means, enjoy it. Enjoy every last second of it. Enjoy the air, which is probably the only thing I enjoyed. Like, enjoy the air, but that's about it, really. So enjoy the air, enjoy the wildlife, enjoy the animals, enjoy everything. Enjoy everything you see. But for those who can't enjoy it like me, then just basically keep pushing yourself. If you're doing this, bronze, I can't really talk for the gold or silver, but for the bronze, if you can't enjoy it, then just keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing yourself at least for the full first walk and the camping trip. After that, you're pretty much golden. So if you can't enjoy it and you're reaching the limits, just keep pushing yourself at least to the end of the first walk and the camping trip. If you can get that far, then you're pretty much golden. I mean, I'm not quite sure if it's the same for every single trip, but at least that's the way it was for me. See, my point exactly. That is terrible. That's terrible design work. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same for every bronze award, but that's the way it was for us at least. And don't worry, we're both doing alright. Like, I'm doing a lot better with my foot. I've had it... I'm doing a lot better. It still hurts here and there, but I'm doing a lot better. But, yeah, again, enjoy it if you can. And if you can't, then just, you know, just keep it up. Keep pushing yourself, at least until the camping trip. Now... that's going to do it for this video, guys. I just want to give you a full brief on what happened on the expedition. Again, I wish I could show you the evidence that I've done it, like the bronze award, the badge, which I think after this I might actually pin it to my hat, you know, wear it with pride, because I am proud of what I did. You know, like maybe I'll have it perhaps, you know, maybe I might have it like near here perhaps, or maybe here in the O, like in the middle of the D here, or maybe in the A or somewhere. I might have it here. Might pin it to my hat if it's got a pin. Just because I am proud of what I've done. I mean, this is the only thing that I wear on a regular basis, because I keep switching between jackets and stuff, and I don't want to have to keep switching. But yeah, unfortunately I don't have the awards yet for proof, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys, if you were doing the DAV, the bronze, I hope you guys enjoy it, or at least persevere through it. And basically, for anyone who is doing the bronze, I wish you all guys luck. For anyone who can't enjoy it, and just, you know, keep pushing yourself. Just keep doing it. Keep it up, and eventually, you will feel proud of yourself. You will do it. You will persevere. You will survive. And that's all I want to say for this video, guys. It's a fairly long video, but I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and obviously just keep pushing forward to any struggle, and you will make it out, and you will be proud of yourself. Like, you will. Believe me, I didn't feel that way at the time. Honestly, I felt horrible, but by now I feel proud of myself for doing it, even though I was regretting it at the time. But just keep pushing yourself and keep doing it, and eventually you will do it, and you will greatly, like, it is rewarding. As tough as it is rewarding. And anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, then feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. Hang on. And I will see all of you guys in the next video. Again, I'll have to do something with the thumbnail, so this represents this, because I don't have the badge yet. But basically, until then, have a good day, you guys. I wish all of you guys a good day. Until then, have a good day, you guys, and keep it up.